Whew. It's always fun when we have a bit of adventure. You see, welcome back to the channel. All right, it's time for War 12 of the season for Loki. We needed a win. I know some of you may know the results of this, but the fact of the matter is this was an awesome, awesome war. I'm very excited to get it out. And it's a really meaningful one for me in a variety of ways. There will be some news coming out. I'm going to more hint at it. I apologize for the tease. I just don't know if all the news will be out. But this was a meaningful war for me. I wanted to do my absolute best for my alliance mates, myself, and then definitely my BG. All right, so we're bringing in Nebula for the first time all season. Luckily, I've been watching Campo's war videos. Campo's on my rankings review team. As I say, I watch these channels because they help me get better at the game, and goodness did it here. Also, shout out to Seriously, who provided a lot of the inspiration for what you're about to see. So Nebula and Mole Man are basically going to have a competition to see who can win fights in Tier 1 war faster. Let's go ahead and jump straight into this. Going up against this Abomination, and I have to say, there are two types of nodes that I cannot stand. Oh, though, you know what? This isn't one of them, so let's not worry about it. As you see, there's the potential for him to land shocks on me. We're bringing in Nebula. It does not matter. We're going to start, because we have the Proximus energy there, we're going to start with 10 of the amp charges, I believe they're called. I'm going to use a Power Start 1 boost. I'm basically just going to get to 20 amp charges, or as high as I can, as quickly as possible, letting him hit into my block. It is fine. If I need to heal up a little bit, we do not care. We're going to take 6 fights, and they're going to get a little trickier as we go. Baiting the SP1s, not really a big issue here. This gives me an opportunity. You saw, I think I got like 2 amp charges in. I tried to do a reparry there. Obviously, I missed. It is what it is. Landed that. Let a few hits go in after the parry, but making sure I'm at my SP2 so I can quickly double them up on him. And he's dead. I mean, that is incredibly, incredibly fast. I don't think it's the quickest fight in this video, though. So just getting that out there now. Now, here's what I was actually saying. I'm going to move on to this strike counter Fury, I think it is. Let's see what kind of strike counter it is against this iHulk. Let's go ahead and check this out. Strike counter Fury, yep. And then this hit me, I dare you. And let's see, I should scroll. Static defense and masochism. So the concern is that this fight might start to take a while, might start to take a little bit of a while. And then also it's got the masochism, which will increase its length. But with Mole Man, what I'm basically going to do is try to get my monster mass going, then use that to go into frenzy, and I'm going to try to beat the clock. Let's see here. I think I still want the advanced power boost. Maybe I was just concerned that it was going to run out. I think that's probably what happened there. I cannot stand strike counter Furies or any sort of strike counter lane. I just don't enjoy. I don't like having to keep that in mind while I'm fighting. And then stunning reflection nodes, where you accidentally stun and you're basically going to lose the fight there. So here we are. I'm going to use the parry and heavy to get my monster mash going. Throw in this one. I think that will add 2. And then now I should just go ahead and no, it looks like maybe I'm going to build up a little bit more. I don't recall. Yeah, there we go. I was like, no, I don't think I did build up more. And now I am into frenzy, which means the damage is just going to be immense. I am aware that I am landing the shocks and things like that. We're also working against masochism. One of the things that's nice here, though, is that I don't need to worry about a parry landing and then him shrugging it or things like that. I am keeping an eye on the masochism timer like I am right there, knowing that if I parry, we could have problems. But I really just want to end this fight. I'm very familiar with iHulk's moveset. You've probably heard this in a lot of super high tier, tier 1 and map 8 players' war videos of late. I fight an iHulk almost every day in AQ. I'm very familiar with fighting him. I've heard that in a lot of rankings, war videos and others videos as of late. And you're going to see that come into play later here when I fight a Dragon Man. I put out a video on how to actually heal up while fighting Dragon Man. It's going to help me out a lot here in the next fight. So then going on, just moving on there. Got those cleared. We are now on lane 9 in section 2, going up against this America Chavez. She's still a scary defender for me, but when it can go this quickly, not as scary. So we have the hazard shift, shock, bleed, and then the wine eye open. So this is where if I do stun her, nothing bad will happen as long as I don't hit her. If I hit her while she's stunned, the damage will get reflected back to me. And you're going to see this. We're going to use the monster mass and the counter punch charge. Basically, I know that's the Killmonger terminology, but we're going to use it like that. with Mole Man here. We've got on the big boost, so we're even running the recoil tree. This was the war. I've never wanted more to solo all of my fights than I did in this war. So there we go. I think I'm gonna let her hit into me here. Yep, there we go. And I should throw my SP1 just to get the monster mask going. And then I think right here, let's see. No, okay, I accidentally stunned her, which I obviously don't want to do. I'm baiting the SP1 just to make sure we can get her down. And I think there we go. Yeah, I'm like, I know I triggered Frenzy at some point. And it's just a race. It's a race that I'm really not that worried about. Remember, Mole Man can block, excuse me, the unblockables there if you're going to stand your ground, which I am. And, I mean, that's all really tough, right? So that was really nice. It was really nice. I mean, that most of that fight, the things that need to go into it were done pre the fight, just getting the duels down, and then more just making sure I had the right mastery spec and stuff like that. So getting the stand your ground and then running the recoil tree, and then obviously the boost are really helpful. Okay, so this is going to be pretty much the same concept as the previous Nebula fight you saw. I'm going to start with the 10 amp charges. We have shock and bleed. That's really nice. With the shock, we know what that will do for us here. We are immune to it. We're immune to the bleed and the shock. So I'm just going to get to my 20 charges as quickly as possible. I'm going to do a lot of blocking here, kind of punish so I can get my power going, so I can get to my SP2. In some ways, it's a little bit tempting to try to land a shock on the opponent because my Nebula is SIG 200. That'll increase my combat power rate, but that's just, there's no reason for that, as you can see right here. So now I'm just going to go ahead and land that parry. I don't need to be at the SP2 yet. That's something you really want to keep in mind if you're fighting like a Nimrod. Again, something I learned in Campo's videos. And I think we have the winner for the quickest fight. I think we have it. I think we have it. All right, now the fights are going to get a little bit more complex, but still pretty cool to be able to take down a Chavez and an Apocalypse that quickly, that easily. Just great planning from Taters and Lizer. So here we have Rage. That's going to be an issue, right? Because we can only do so much damage in a hit. These additional secondary sources of damage are going to be really helpful because they kind of basically bypass it. We've got high ground here. So the longer this fight starts to go, this could become a problem. That's the only issue with this particular matchup, because I need to get from 10 to as high as I can. 20 is always nice, but you know, I'm sure 15 or 16 would be fine, as we'll see in this video. But I'm also not going to be hitting him that much because I'm going to be holding block. So there was a little bit of a mini game of sorts, let's say, or a strategy, or just something I was trying to think through while the fight, that I wanted to be aware that I don't want his high ground charges getting too high, because while I'm taking these hits on the block to get my amp charges going, could create a problem. At the same time, I didn't really want to play him and get to my SP3 and get, I can't think of what her like status is called that triggers on the SP3. I didn't want to do that, which is another tactic, because again, the length of the fight was starting to concern me. So here we go. You'll see I'm very familiar with his moveset. At some point, I will need to go in and reparry. I did do that, so that was fun because that gets the shock on. And as I told you earlier in the video, my Nebula is a SIG 200, which increases the combat power rate when he has a shock on. But I also noticed I didn't really get the opportunity to do much with it. I think I might try to pull that off one more time in this, or maybe I decided, let's go safe. Like I said, this was a war I did not want to mess around. Yeah, I just didn't do it. So here we go. So I'm going to need to land the reparry here. Missed that. He goes for the heavy, so I didn't really miss it as much as he just didn't want to play ball. And then he plays ball. But you saw how much damage with 3 high ground charges. That was down. I'm all the way down to 61%. Never got hit in the fight. But that was good. That was very, very satisfying. Very, very satisfying. Now, whew. It's always fun when we have a bit of adventure. You see Psycho Billy and Liza cheering me on. I'm feeling very, very happy right here. We all wanted to do so well. We want to do well in every single war, but there was something very special about this one for all of us in BG3. So healing back up, I have literally never taken this node before, ever. If you've seen it in my war videos, you can remind me. I do tend to forget things almost as soon as they have happened, but I do not believe I have ever taken this node before. Let's go ahead and show it. Hazard Shift, Incinerate, and Poison. I checked in with my rankings team. Taters was pretty positive about that. We knew that I would turn off the power gain of Dragon Man once I had is the 5 charges from Nebula. What we weren't positive on was would it turn off Incinerate, Poison. I checked in with my rankings team. They're like, yes, it definitely absolutely does. Thank you, Nerd. You were the first one to reply, Nerd Hyena. And so that was very, very comforting. And you're going to see, I'm going to make a big mistake, because what I thought was, or what I said in my brain, my mind was, this will turn off the node. There's something very important here. In all of these fights, you've seen me stun the opponent, then combo into them and throw my SP2. It adds a nice little bit for those stuns, those shocks to get going. And then you throw the SP2, double it up, and they are done. Dragon Man's stun immune. Let's see how this works out. Let's see how this works out. So I've gone straight in. I know how to fight Dragon Man. That's not a concern for me. But I'm very excited. I want to finish this off. I know everyone's watching. We're just, I can't emphasize enough how excited we all were in BG3 and how badly we wanted to finish this off strong. So here we go. We're going to go in, and I'm going to make sure I keep my charges up so that there's no power gain. You can see there's just no power gain. We started off with above 5 power amp charges, so there's just no power gain. I knew that the node would get turned off. We've talked about this when I fought Dragon Man in other videos. On the heavy, you don't want to do what I just did there. And I learned from a previous mistake against Jabari Panther. If you mess up and you're late, don't try to punish, because it's not going to work out. I had gone back twice. It's fine. So here we go. You can see I'm just going to stun him, move my charges, and oh my goodness, I forgot that he was stun immune. I will admit, you guys know me. I will admit these things. I want us all to learn from this. And also I want to show these things happen. I just completely forgot, and I'm getting smacked in the face. Additionally, my shock charges are on. You can see it's at 5,063. So they're ticking for a lot, but this is not anywhere near what they would do at 40. Additionally, having fought Dragon Man so much, I know that if I get knocked down, he's going to go unblockable. Let's see how this plays out. You can see I go in early on a heavy, but her heal starts to save me. I get a nice little intercept. I was very happy about that because he's unblockable. I get the intercept, and I'm not pausing this, guys. I'm going to let this run. I did that intentionally to like calm myself because I knew I had messed up, but I also knew that doesn't mean this fight is over. I've thrown my heavy, or I've thrown my special. I've used my power. He's no longer unblockable. This is just a reset fight. I just now need to build up my amp charges again. That's not that bad, but I need to get them back quickly because I need to turn the node back off. You saw I got a little bit of the incinerates on, or no, I think those are actually just from Dragon Man. Forget that part. But I need to get my amp charges back up, and right now I'm starting to feel good again. My heart's starting to slow back down. I'm starting to kind of gain my composure. You can see there, I did it right with his heavy. You only need to back up once. It's a little, it looks a little odd, but it's the way it works. And then now I'm just like, and right there, I should have thrown my SP2 right after the first combo. So now I'm like, oh God, what have I done to myself? But again, I know I'm okay. I'm just going to work myself out of this corner. I will be fine. I know how to fight Dragon Man. I know his movesets. I just need to stay calm. So I'm just staying calm. If he wants to throw his heavy there, whew, got a little lucky, went too far back. But again, I knew the timing, so I knew I'd be okay. And then we're going to parry him here, and the shocks will actually finish him off. Shocks will actually finish him off. So I was so excited because mistakes are going to happen. For me, a lot of it's like if you already have a backup plan, you know what the mistake might be, how you can handle it then, or if you're able to just calm yourself. You're not always going to have the ability to pause the game like that, but if you can, do it. Now, I had created the space first with the special, so that was helpful. But you saw, Taters saying amazing job. And then this is how BG3 has been in 4Loki. I know 4Loki as an alliance is amazing, but if you do Alliance War or you do AQ, that each BG can kind of start to develop their own culture a bit. And this is just how BG3 has been. You can see, autocorrect. Yay, thank you. But I'm just basically saying like, oh man, they got to see the unedited version of this. So I showed them all the unedited version that I just closed the app there and just let myself kind of remember what the basic plan was, that I know how to fight Dragon Man, even though I so badly wanted to solo every fight this war. It was very important to me and everyone in the BG that the fight was still salvageable. Even though I was a little bit nervous, the fight was still salvageable. I haven't been nervous like that in a very, very long time for war. It was actually a really fun feeling. If not, like I said, I haven't felt that way in a really long time. Liser's in there, Cyclobilly. Cyclobilly's had a great great close to the season. I think I wanted to let him know that here. So while the rest of this kind of BG3 Love Fest is happening, I'll just tell you, unfortunately, we lost the war. We lost the war. It's just how it's been, you know. It's how this season has been for Loki. Yeah, there's ups and downs. You saw, I show you guys when I make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. We're all human. It happens. And our mistakes just came at really, really bad times this season. So it is what it is. I loved playing with every single person in this BG3. You guys are all awesome. Thank you so much to Taters and Lizer for the planning. Taters, you've done so much. I hope you watch. I know you say you watch all the videos, man. But in all these videos and viewers to you, the planning is incredible. It's amazing. They set us up for success. And on the rare times where they actually make a mistake of some sort, they immediately take responsibility for it. Even in matchups where you're like, well, if I had just done this, we would have won. And they're like, no, you know what? That wasn't an ideal matchup. I'm really sorry that happened, which is just awesome leadership. I appreciate that. You know, a lot of you ask about war advice and moving up in alliances. And I'm always telling you, take the chance, jump up. And what's the worst thing that happens? You make some mistakes. You realize you got to get a little bit better at the game. You go back down, I guess it is. And then you come back and you come back even better. But the other part of it is try to find a good fit, a good personality fit, a good place that you will enjoy playing. Some people enjoy like the super ultra intense and everyone's yelling and stuff like that. That's not my style. I'm sure you know that. But I've been fortunate enough to play in a BG3 here with Loki, where it is extremely supportive. People are cheering for each other. And we just expect each other to do the duels and to do the boost. No one's having to yell at us and tell us we put on the boost and whatever. Like, we're all adults and we act like it, and we act responsible for each other and for the team. And so much of that is because of the culture that Taters and Lizer have cultivated. It is awesome, and I am very fortunate I've gotten to be a part of it for I think a little over a year now. So thank you for all of you. Thank you everyone who viewed this. I believe I will put out War 11. So depending on when you see these may have been a little bit out of order. There are a lot of Angela fights. They were cool, actually. They were really cool. It's cool to see everything she can do. And that's where I'll put in my kind of war stats. I only had 2 deaths on the whole season. Hit some really nice markers there with Loki, with the things that they track. And so it'll be fun to kind of go over that. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed seeing Nebula. My eyes, yeah, I know a lot of you are like, dude, you used to not like her. I was wrong. Hey, you know what? I'm a big boy. I can admit it. I was wrong. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you're still watching. I know there's a lot of talking here at the end. I really appreciate it. I hope you had a great season, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care. I hope you either learned something, were entertained, or even better, a little bit of both. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.